Some were fortunate and they found their way out. Many were not. Many helped others to escape. America, are you still listening?
Yes! Yes! Wake up, America!
As a first responder, all of them, all the first responders were lost in a fog of war that day. They set up escape routes for people to exit from the safest locations. FDNY stormed the blazing towers to work their way up into Stairwell B in a desperate effort to ensure that people were saved. The PAPD, the NYPD, EMS all mirrored these actions. Supervisors made decisions where to send these altruistic heroes who were all self-motivated.
Gloria girl, is that you?
A look of determination
I had to work my
glowed
way
in
up.
their eyes that day
She's in the back.
as they stepped forward
Good to see you, my dear.
fulfill their
Nice seeing you,
vocations and their
My
oaths.
flag.
Yeah.
They focused on their duty.
Last year.
They absorbed the images
I'll ask you
of
now.
hundreds
Is it okay to
of
make
people,
that first
hundreds
video
of bodies,
public now?
sure,
Yeah, I think
beyond
so.
recognition.
I got enough junk in
the
there.
remains of gutted humans and body parts lying all around them.
So tonight or tomorrow I'll make it public.
Time came to a standstill. Surrealism was the norm. The towers fell, and 3,000 souls passed through the survivors. People who had just went to work that day were murdered.
Yes.
Rescuers had been sent, and most of them never returned. How do you explain this? How do you explain this to a grieving family at a memorial service as you kneel on your knees with your eyes weeping? How do you explain this? I can tell you. They look at you and they say to you, I understand. I understand. 343 FDNY, 37 Port Authority Police, 23 New York City police officers, EMS, civilian, 2 EMS, FBI, and court officer, civilians from the Port Authority and other companies, all gave their lives for others. 20,000 lives were saved that day. America, please never forget, today is Patriots Day.
Yes.
And to refer to it in any other fashion is dishonor to the fallen. We worked for 9 months in toxic waste in hopes of finding loved ones to lay to rest. Firefighters and police embraced each other and wept for their loved ones. They searched for family members and colleagues. Yet, through all of their grief, their strength prevailed.
That's right.
Every recovery was treated with the utmost dignity. We thank God for the recoveries.
That's right. We thank God.
made during those months. America, those recoveries were a bittersweet reunion. America, how has it come to this? How could we build a trophy mosque on hallowed ground? It is the way of the jihad to build mosques on conquered land, especially over synagogues and churches.
Yep.
Why would this be any different? It is a false attempt to heal.
Yep.
As I speak now, another flotilla, backed up by a Turkish warship, is about to embark to the Gaza Strip twisted.
Yep.
So I make this plea to humanity, people of America, and throughout the world. I see in your eyes the very fear that would take the heart of me. A day may come when the courage of people fails, when we forsake our friends and break all allegiance. But it is not this day.
Amen.
An hour of wolves and shattered shields may come crashing down upon us when the age of humanity is crashing down. But it is not this day. This day we unite.
Yes.
By all that we hold dear on this good earth. I bid you stand, people of the West.
Yes. Stand up, America. Stand up and be connected. Yes. We must connect. We must unite for freedom, for liberty, for justice. Preserve our Constitution.
Very powerful. Part of the fight, and very important, is who we elect. The politicians have been looking in the rearview mirror, and they don't see what's in front of us. And it's important for us to get behind candidates that understand the threat of Islamic Jihad. My next speaker is running in North Carolina. His name is Ilario Pantano, decorated war vet, and I want you to give him a big round of applause. I want you to get behind his campaign. If you can't be down there, then donate. This is who we need in the leadership of the United States government.
We need the leadership of the United States government. Friends, isn't it great to be able to stand at a freedom rally unafraid of those that would try and do us harm? Isn't that amazing? God bless the USA. God bless our men and women in uniform that are keeping us safe here today and that have for generations. Thank you, men and women. Thank you. Thank you. You know, freedom is a lot like sausage. Everybody loves it, but nobody wants to know how it's made. Think about that. It's made by men and women in dark corners of this land and in others, doing things that many would think are impossible. Friends, I want to bring your attention to a man named Michael Spann. Some of you might remember. Mike Spann was the first American killed in the War on Terror when we started to counterattack. It's November 25th, 2001. Mike had already served as a Marine Corps officer, and then he had gone and became a paramilitary with the CIA. And he was in Afghanistan. And he was the first American face. And he was the first name that you might remember when we started to take the fight to the enemy. In that time, sadly, his story has been joined by almost 5,000 men and women in Iraq, over 1,500 men and women in Afghanistan, and tens of thousands of wounded that we know will need care for the rest of their lives. But Mike Spann knows what my friends and brother know and believe with every bit of our hearts today.
It's not the right thing, and it's not the American.
That this country is worth fighting for, that this country is worth protecting, and if need be, this country is worth dying for. Those are somber words. Those are somber words on a somber day, friends. I was just a couple blocks up from here on September 11th, 10 years ago. I'd already fought in the first Gulf War. I was on my way to work. I saw the buildings burning and I knew that we were at war again. I shaved my head. By the time I went home, my wife knew what was going to happen. I'd gone to the storage place, got my gear, and I was going back into the Marines 10 years later. They said I was too old. They said I was too old. I had to knock on a lot of doors, get a lot of permission.